Welcome back, or welcome for the first time to my channel, Crafts by KMW. This is Karen, and I have another Halloween color along for you. So as you can see, this is the page that I'm going to be doing, and it is from Spirit Animals by Hannah Karlzon, and I absolutely love this book. I'm starting to color it from start to finish, which I rarely do, and I probably will finish this book before I continue coloring in any other book. I love it that much. So I did another color along in this book. This is the page. And so the video is up on my channel. If you would like to look at that and color that page, that is there for you. So let's get to this page. So let me tell you what my plan is now. And it may change a little bit depending on how the colors go together and just how I'm feeling. But this is my plan as of now. So for the background, which there's hardly any background, I am planning to use gelatos. So I have two colors picked out. One is called Black Hole, and it is an iridescent gelato. And then the second is also an iridescent, and it is called Galaxy. It's a purple. So I think that would make a really pretty backdrop for stars. And then for the wings, I'm thinking black for this part here, like the, I don't know if it's the bone or whatever keeps the wing stable. And then blacks and grays and purples for the inside. Purple for her hair. The jewelry parts in various gold, silvers, maybe even a little bronze. I'm thinking of her skin, a really pale color, not white, but like a really pale, maybe a pale gray, maybe a 10% gray. And then with accents of purples for the shadows along her jawline, around her nose, under her neck, etc., just to give more of a vampire vibe. And then I was thinking purples and blacks for her hair. And then this little part, I'm not really sure exactly what it's supposed to be, but I'm thinking it would look really cool as a flower. And on the previous page, so here's the bat page, which I'm not going to color on video, but I will color it probably sometime soon. And there's a little flower around the bat's collar here, or as a collar for the bat. And so I thought it might be cool to tie those in. So thinking of fall flowers, thinking it might be cool to make it yellow, and that would give it a little pop of color because there's going to be a lot of dark, brooding colors on this page. And then for her eye color, I'm not sure. I'm thinking either green or brown at this point, but I'll decide that eventually. So that's the plan. I plan on using mostly Prismacolors, and then I have Jelly Roll pens. So I have a copper, I have a clear pen to give some glitter, I have a gold, and then I have the glaze black, which is right here as well, which I'll probably be using. So I wanted to start with the background using the gelatos so they have time to dry, and then I can continue with the wings and doing things up here. So I'm going to take the black first. If you've never used gelatos, you can use watercolors, you can use pencil, you can use markers, whatever you would like. I just like gelatos because they're really easy to spread, and it's really cool when you add water. You can make it like a paint, so I really like that effect. So I'm going to just wash the black on. And another thing I really like about using gelatos is you don't have to be exact as you are adding the color. You can just add it. And now I'm going to add the purple. And I also like doing the background first a lot, because that way if you get any color on the main part of the image, you can get rid of it and cover it when you color the image. It's really hard to undo sometimes when you've already added the color. If you've added a lot of layers, you might not be able to add more color. So now I'm going to take the paintbrush, and this is a paintbrush that comes with the gelatos. It's a very flat, as you can see, angled brush, and it's really nice for gelatos. And I just have a little cup of water here. Now this paper in Hannah Karlzon's books, all her books, they have the same paper. They all take wet media, other than alcohol markers, because they are a totally different beast. They all take color, water really well. So it may look a little wrinkly at first, but once it dries, it will be almost flat again. So I'm just blending these two into one another. If you hear some noises, my cat is in a place where he is not supposed to be right now. I bought this really cool black calla lily, which actually has purple flowers, but it's called a black calla lily. And he's all up in that. got my first coat on. And so I'm just gonna let that dry. I'm gonna do another layer once that dries. I want it to look more solid. So now I can start on the other parts of the page. So I am going to color the face first. So I am going to use 10% cool gray, which is 1059. And I'm going to color the entirety of her face and neck with the cool gray. And this will be the base color that then I can build on with my other colors. Again, I really love this paper. It takes color so nicely. And it also blends beautifully with a blender pencil. That's what I use to blend. I have bought some Gamsol, but I haven't used it yet. I would love to see in the comments if you've used Gamsol or odorless mineral spirits. I think they're about the same. And how you like them, any tips or tricks. I've been a little afraid to use it. Kind of sticking with what I know. I don't have to get too close in with that chain because I'm going to be adding some shadows in there with a darker gray. So I hope you are having a great week, or have had a great week. It's Thursday already, so it is almost over. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to Friday and to the weekend. I'm just going over all of the parts again, just to make sure they are nice and solid, or at least for the most part. Because once I start adding the purples in, it's all going to get contaminated, so it's going to be very hard to keep that light color or add it back in. Okay. So now I'm going to use a light purple, but one that is the darkest of the purples I'm going to use. So I've chosen Parma Violet. It's 10008. And I am just very lightly going to go around the edge of her face first. Tapering down to the chin. I try to go really lightly at first because you can always add color. It's really hard to take it away. And I've learned that during many hours of coloring and getting frustrated because I laid the color down or a color down too dark and I can't do anything with it. This is my cat, Finn. Okay, Finn, not now. Okay. He's been itching to come up for the last 10 minutes and I was able to hold him off and then I moved my arm and he was able to get up. Just adding a little bit of color around her nose, and then I'm adding a little bit of color to define her nose a little bit. I'm adding some underneath her eye and around the top of her eye. And then I'm going to add a little bit under her eyebrows. Right on that little dimension line that Hannah put in, and then a little bit under her lips. My table is getting quite filled with colors. So now I'm going to come in with a lighter color and I'm going to use lavender, which is 934. And I'm just going to go next to and a little bit over everything that I just did with the Parma Violet with this color. Just extending it a little bit. Again, going super, super light. Now I'm going to add more of the Parma Violet on her neck and under her chin. Now, I've been sort of torn on whether I'm going to make this a dress or like a collar and jewelry and this is skin. But I think I'm going to do it as a dress because I think it would look really cool in silver. So I'm just gonna leave the skin right there. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of the lavender there underneath where I did the Parma Violet. Okay. Now I'm going to take my blender pencil, if I can find it, here it is, and after sharpen, I'm gonna go ahead and blend in the skin. So I just want to get all of those lines out of there and mostly burnish. And now I'm going to the neck. And I will be adding some darker gray right under the chin line to show shadow. And now I'm just gonna add some more of that 10% gray in. Just to make sure that stays, those areas stay nice and light. And now I'm just going to add some white right in the center of her nose. It's going to be very light, actually barely perceptible really. But It helps to blend as well. And a little bit on her chin. Okay, face is finished. Now I'm going to continue with my background. And this time I'm not going to add any more water. I am just going to dry blend. I sort of discovered that this works the other day. So once you have a layer down of the gelato, you can put another layer on and dry blend it, and it goes on really nicely and spreads really nicely. So I'm going to use this harder sponge. This is a sponge that actually comes with the gelatos, and it's very firm. And I really like that. It gives you a lot of control. And so I'm just going to work this in to the paper. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water in places just to soften that up a bit. As you can probably tell, I am not a painter. So this is the extent of my painting, and using the occasional watercolor. So I didn't like that area, so I just added a little bit more color on top. Okay, so I think that's deep enough. I like that. So background is finished. So now I'm going to work on this area here. I want to get the yellow done early so I don't have to worry about bringing in any other colors. So I'm going to start with cream, which is PC 914. And I'm just going to put all over color on the petals. Now I'm going to take a little bit of sand, which is 940, and just go around the outside edges where Hannah drew in the little dotted lines. And then I'm going to take canary yellow, which is 916, and start on the bottom of each petal and bring it up a little bit. And now I'm going to take lemon yellow, 915, and just fill in above where I did the canary yellow. Some of the petals are really small, so I don't have to do that. And then I'm going to take my blender and just lightly blend. Now I'm going to take a darker gray, I think I'm going to use 70% French gray. This is 1074. And I'm going to add in or color in next to each petal where it overlaps with another petal to show the shadows. Just give some dimensionality to the petals. And then I'm going to do a little bit above the collar and this little piece of jewelry here, a little line of shadow. And then I'm going to do some light shadows on the right side of each petal over her skin. And again, just gives a little bit of dimension. Makes it look like the petals aren't flat. And now I'm going to take just a bit of Spanish orange, 10003. And just very, very lightly add a little bit of Spanish orange into the center of each petal. I'm actually doing the little larger ones, the smaller, teeny tiny ones. I'm not adding as much or any at all. Okay, just to give that a little bit of more dimension, more color. Okay, so now I'm going to color this here. So I'm going to use black Jelly Roll glaze for that. It gives a shiny, raised appearance. And I'm also going to do that. I think I might do that on the wings right away. I'm going to do that on the wings. So let me just bring this down a little bit so I'm closer so you can see that. Now the glaze jelly rolls especially need plenty of time to dry, so you really want to leave it alone for a while before you pick up in color again. In the same area. Okay, that's one. So now I think I'm going to do this one first before I do that other one, so I don't have to reach across. So are you gearing up for Halloween? I am not a big fan of Halloween. I do not have any young children, so we are not going trick-or-treating. And I live in an area where I don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters. So I don't even have plans to buy any candy or anything. I never was a big Halloween fan. Even when I was younger, I didn't like dressing up and putting makeup on. So I would always dress as something where I didn't have to put any makeup on my face. So I would dress as a detective or a fairy or something where I wouldn't need any makeup. Now I just realized that I forgot the earlobes. So I'm going to very quickly do those. And blend those out a bit. Okay. Before I forget, I'm going to add a little bit of shadow around her face by those ears. Okay. And then I did with my 70% French gray again. All right, so while that dries up there, I'm going to work on her dress. So I'm thinking I want it to be silver, but I'm not sure that I want to use a silver pen or marker, because I want to make the chains with silver jelly roll. So I'm thinking that I might do the silver with pencils. So I'm going to use 30% French gray and do an all over color. This actually needs a little sharpen. Now I'm going to take %90 warm gray and color in the outside edge of the dress. So I'm using 3 colors of gray that I will blend together, and hopefully it will look like silver. I think I'm also going to add some glitter over this as well. I have a glitter gel pen, and I also have some glitter markers that I might use. And then I'm going to use just trying to find a little bit of a darker gray. I'm going to use 30% warm gray. Blending that darker color, blending it into it, and bringing it out into the center. I wanted to use 50%, but I can't find it right now, so 30% works. Okay, and now I am going to blend that together. Okay, I'm gonna add some of my 90% along the very inside for a shadow against the hair. Just very lightly, not coming out too far at all. And then I'm just going to blend that in a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit under this little jaggy scallop. I'm doing it just in between in the little V areas. Okay. So I think I like that. It looks like fabric, sort of suede-y. All right. Then at the end, I will give it a brush with my sparkle pens to give that a little bit of glitter. So now I'm thinking that, yes, that is done. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the wings. So I'm going to start darkest up at the top and then lightest on the bottom. So I'm going to start with my black. And then coming along these lines that are drawn in. I'm not pressing very hard at all. Let's say like a medium light pressure. Hi, Finn. Okay, not now, buddy. Do you have a cat that likes to get involved with your coloring? I'd love to hear about it in the comments if you do. Most of the time he comes up, lays down before I even know what's happening, and that's when I take a little break and wait until he gets down. I'm just going a little bit darker up towards the top, just adding a little bit more, another layer. Okay, now trying to find some of my other grays. I have them all over the place. Okay, I'm going to use 70% French and extend and overlap a bit. I really do need to do a better job of putting my supplies away, so when I want to find the color again, I can do that. Right now, I kind of lay them in a big pile on my table, and it is not very conducive to finding the colors quickly when I need them a second time. And now I'm going to take my 30% French gray and finish the wing. Again, overlapping with the previous color that I just put down. That helps with the blending. Now, if you're more a burnisher than a blender, in other words, you don't use a blending pencil or a liquid like mineral spirits or Gamsol, that's fine. Just might take you a little bit longer to complete each element as you burnish and try to get all of the white spaces filled in. So now I'm going to blend with my blender pencil, starting from the top, blending down. Thing I don't like about colored pencils is that they do not blend the same way. So different colors blend better than others. So as you can probably see, the black is blending really, really nicely. And then when I get down into the French grays, not so much. It's a little bit harder. They're not blending as well, as smoothly. I'm having to work a little harder to blend those out. I'm sure it's because of the pigment, but it does make it harder. Okay. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of the 30% in between that line with the black. Just adding a little bit more. And then I'm just adding another layer of the 10%. Again, to blend and to solidify that, make it more opaque. Okay. And now I'm going to take I'm going to put a very light layer of the lavender. Between the 30% and the 10%. Very, very light. Just to add a little bit more dimension and interest to the wings. You may not even be able to see it on camera. It's very, very, very light, almost imperceptible. But it just adds a little bit. See if I can get a little closer. It just adds a little bit to the wing. I don't know if you can see that. All right. So now I'm going to take a warm gray 30%, which is PC 1052, and I'm just very lightly going to add some lines in here just for some striations. Just on the bottom, not at the top where the black is, but just where the lighter grays are. To give it a little bit more dimension and make it look more like a wing and not like a flat object I've colored gray. All right, so now I'm going to color up here the jewelry. So I'm going to pull out my silver jelly roll. I'm going to color this. And then I'm going to color this ornament here. I'm going to color the casing of this jewel up here. And I'm going to color this ornamental shape. I love using gel pens and metallic markers. They add a little bit of pizzazz quite easily. You do have to wait for them to dry, but other than that, I really, really like using them. Jelly rolls are my favorites for every color except for white. Regarding the white, I like to have a Signo. So this is my Uniball Signo gel pen in white, and I love this. It writes on wax, on the wax pencil really well, whereas jelly rolls often do not. So I'm going to do this little jelly, this little, and then down here. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my chain links. These chain links are so small that you really can't do anything with them as far as colored pencil. You wouldn't be able to get two colors in to do a silver look or a gold look with colored pencils. So I think this is the way to go. Gel pen. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to pull out a purple jelly roll pen that I have. Actually, I think I have two. Just gonna check and make sure the one's more pink. I don't know if I want to use that one. Okay, let me see. Yep. Okay, so I have two. One is a metallic, and the other one is just a regular jelly roll, but they're both in purples. So I am going to start doing these jewels. And so how I like to do them is I go around the edge and then I leave the center open. And that way I can put a little bit of glitter in there, glitter gel pen, or if I want to do white, I can do white. So these smaller ones I can go ahead and do in the center, do a circular motion. Now these aren't really working because they're so small, but I try to leave the inside open to give it that dimension to look like it is round. And I'm going to take my other color purple, which this is a little bit of a lighter one. Oh, actually it's darker. Okay. That's great. All right, I'm going to do these. All I care about is that it's different, so that's a good thing. You could do some of these black if you wanted to, or white. I think they would be gorgeous. think I'm going to do her eyes now. And I think I would like her eyes to be blue. So I'm just grabbing electric blue. And then I'm going to use Ultramarine 902 to do the edges. A little bit of dimension to her eyes. And I'm going to color the people. And I'm going to do a little bit of nectar in the corner here. We have that little pink in the corner of our eyes. Or in the inside center, I guess you could say. Okay, now I'm going to take my silver gel pen, my silver jelly roll, and color in the stars. I was sort of teetering between coloring them silver and gold, but I decided on gold. Now I'm going to take my silver gel pen and color the earrings. I'm doing them okay. And then the inside of that earring with a loop would be a little darker. I'm just going to color that in black. Okay. Now I'm going to do this bat here. And I've been teetering back and forth between what color or colors to color it. So I think I'm going to color it black. I'm hoping it will stand out nicely against the hair once it's colored. And now I'm going to take my blender pencil and blend that out. And I'm just going to add in a little bit of cool gray, 10% towards the bottom to blend a little bit more and just give it a little lighter of a look at the bottom. And I'm just going to take my gel pen and go over those dots. Okay. All right, I'm going to take my 10% cool gray again and do these little clouds that are in this little piece of jewelry. And then the background, I'm going to color silver. So I'm going to do that now before I color in the moon. I want that to be totally dry, so that way hopefully my moon will stay nice and white and won't get contaminated by any other color. Okay. All right, now I have a different silver. This is actually a silver metallic marker that I got from Amazon. And I'm just going to do these little bits that I want silver, but to look a little different than the gel pen. So it's a little contrast. Okay, while that is drying up there, I'm going to come down here and work on this jewelry. So I'm going to have this be a purple jewel. Doing that with my gel pen. This one here, I'm going to do silver. So I think these little fasteners, I'm going to do silver. And the chain. And then the casing around the jewel. I'm also going to do that silver. And then I'll do these little so the rest of it, I think I'm going to do an antique gold. So I use 4 colors for my antique gold look. And I'm just going to grab them real quick. Okay, so the 4 colors are I just had that. Okay, here we go. The 4 colors are sepia, which is 948, espresso, which is 1099, lime peel, which is 10005 or 1005, and jasmine, which is 1012. And these are actually colors I got from a tutorial by Color with Claire. And they work really nicely to do antique gold or tarnished gold or tarnished brass. So I think that would look really nice on this big earring and give a little bit of contrast. So I'm going to start with the sepia, and I'm going to do the outside of the earring. And you want to go lighter when you're coming in towards the center, because that's where you'll blend with the espresso. I absolutely love this technique, and I use it pretty much anywhere I can. It just really looks like tarnished gold or brass. Now this one I'm going to do, this little part, I'm going to do a little separately. And because this is so skinny, I'm not going to use all of the colors in here. Now I'm going to come in with my espresso. And I'm going next to the sepia and blending in with the sepia. Now I'm going to do the lime peel. The lime peel is actually the color you want to use the least of. You just want to make it a little, a little line. If you look really closely at like tarnished gold, tarnished brass, it has a little bit of a green tint to it. And now I'm gonna do fill in with the jasmine. My cat is jumping everywhere he's not supposed to be because he doesn't like that I'm not paying attention to him. Does your pet do that? Let me know in the comments. Love to see if you have a pet like mine. And now I'm just blending. And then even after I blend, I come back in again with the jasmine, because that's the color that really needs to shine. All right, and there we have it, an antique gold earring. All right, so I'm hoping that the silver pen up here is done, and I'm going to use a white metallic marker. This is from a set I got from Amazon that came with like 12 different metallic markers. I don't know what brand it is. You can definitely use a white gel pen if you would like, or you could use a white crayon. And I'm coloring in the moon. I will probably add a little bit of white on top of that once everything is finished, just to make sure it really stands out. So now I'm going to color her lips, and I feel like her lips should be really red. So I'm going to use Crimson Lake and a little bit. Crimson Lake is $9.25, and a little bit of mahogany for contrast and shadow, which is $10.29. So I'm going to do the Crimson Lake first. I'm coloring the top edge of her lips bottom edge, and then in the center where the lines are drawn, gonna blend that out. Not doing as much blending in those areas that I want to have a little bit of lightness to them, not be too dark. And now I'm just gonna go over the center a little bit with mahogany and a little bit on the bottom and a little bit on the top. And now I'm going to add some white in those areas I want to be lighter. And I'm going to use my white gel pen to fill in the teeth or the little fangs. All right, so now I'm gonna come down to the jewelry around her neck, necklace, or on the collar of her dress. Not sure which. I'm using my silver jelly roll on the inside line. I can come in a little bit closer for you there. I think I'm going to do this as well with my silver jelly roll. Has anyone bought any new coloring books? I would love to hear if you found a great new coloring book. I just bought this one. So Spirit Animals is a new coloring book for me. I'm doing the chain links now with my jelly roll. I'm also waiting on another book to be delivered from Amazon. It's another Dutch book. I cannot remember the author's name though. It's one that I didn't know, but I looked at a flip through of the book and I absolutely loved it. So I'm really excited to get that one. I'm awaiting the new book from Alan Robert, which is Beauty of Horror 6. And I'm not sure the exact title, but it's featuring famous works of art. So he has his little stars of the book, Juliana and her friends interacting with famous works of art. So I've seen some of the pages on Amazon as previews and it looks really cool. So I'm excited to get that one. I'm looking forward to the newest Kirby Roseanne's Finn, not now. That one is Alien Worlds. And I'm not a huge, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of aliens. But I love pretty much every book that Kirby does in the World series. So I have Fragile Worlds, Mythic World, Worlds Within Worlds. I don't really care for his earlier work because I don't like the doodles and such. But I think the drawings are gorgeous if they didn't have all the little doodles and things and little pictures that don't go with the drawing. So this one, I'm using my silver marker now on this element to get a little bit of a difference. So he says that he's going to stop producing coloring books. So this may be the last Kirby book that I buy. Sorry, my cat is knocking things down again in protest. Hopefully, eventually he's going to get tired and then he will go to sleep. But we'll see. So I'm using, again, my marker on this top ridge of the necklace, again, to give a little contrast with the jelly roll. All right, so now I'm going to use my purple jelly roll. I'm using the darker one to fill in these here to make them stones. And again, I'm just leaving a little, or trying to leave a little white area in the center. I'm not always successful, but I try. If you hear that noise, it's my cat. I'm going to use the lighter gel pen to color in these very small ones here. All right, I'm going to hold off on those. All right. I think I might do these. And I'll do this. Okay. I'm going to color the star in gold. I think I'm going to give that a little bit of a black background with my black jelly roll. I think that might look kind of neat. I think I found that jelly roll glazes are really juicy. So, you know, if you're using it too, just want to go really light, barely touch the paper. So now down here, I'm going to do these as little jewels. Yay, he just crawled in his bed. Now he's going to go to sleep. Ah. Not that I don't love him and spending time with him, but it's really difficult when you're trying to color, and especially when you're trying to make a video. I forgot this chain. Okay. Now, I kind of thought doing something a little bit different, that I would do these little spikes white to make them look sort of like crystals or clear, see-through. So I'm going to color over them with my white gel pen. And then I'm going to add a little bit of blue for highlight and to hopefully give the clear impression that it's clear. And like a crystal. I'm sure there are lots of different ways to do this. These are relatively small, so I don't think I have to. I'm not going to be able to add a whole lot of different colors in or anything like that. So I think taking the easiest route is the best. All right, so I need to let that dry for a little bit. So I think I'm going to do I think to tie in this area here with the earring, I'm going to use the antique gold effect that I used earlier on the earring. So I'm doing my sepia around the edges of each little link. And I'm making the area really small because these are small little areas. They're not large at all. I'm going to use my espresso, just a little bit. On these small areas, I'm not even going to use the espresso at all. Now my lime peel. I'm just going to give this a quick little sharpen. If you don't have Prismas, you could use like a chartreuse or any kind of a bright green. And now I'm going to fill in the center. With the jasmine. And now I'm going to blend. And I'm going to take white and just put a little smidgen of white in the center to make them look a little, make that look a little more shiny and be defined a little bit more. So now I think with these scallops, I was putting them off to decide what I wanted to do with them. And I think I'm going to do them silver. So I'm using my jelly roll. In this book, as I said, I just started it. I just received this book about a week ago, and I've been coloring in it ever since, pretty exclusively. And I'm really trying to stretch myself as far as color palettes. I normally tend to use a lot of colors on a page, and I'm trying to experiment and use a limited color palette on some of these pages. And so far I'm really liking it. I think it's turning out, and I'm really pleased with the overall look of the pages when I finish. I did that on the one I showed earlier where I did the other color along. I used a pretty limited palette, and so I really like how that one turned out. Usually I would make jewelry like this, all different colors, and use bright reds, and and it's a little bit of a departure for me to use lighter colors. So now I'm going to take a blue, and I just pulled non-photo blue out, which is 919. It doesn't matter what blue you use, I don't think. And I'm just doing a hint of blue on these little spikes. I think that helps give the appearance that they're glass or clear. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, so now I have to address the inside of this. So I'm going to use my deeper purple pen. Color this one. And up here. And then I'm going to color these little jewels in the other color that I have. And this area right here. And then I think those two little teardrops, I'm gonna do these as if they are clear. And then once that dries, I'll come back and add in a little bit of blue. So for the earring, even though this part inside the earring doesn't appear as though it has lines through it for hair, I think I want to make that the hair. I want the hair to be behind it, so the earrings are open and like this little jewel would dangle. So I think I'm gonna leave that. So the only thing I want to do is go back to the moon and go over that with a little bit of gel pen to make sure he's nice and white. All right, so now we are ready to do the hair. So I'm going to gather my colors. So I was thinking lilac, dahlia purple, and black grape. So I'm gonna swatch those just to make sure I like those together. So that's the black grape, dahlia purple, let me see, not sure I'm loving that. the dahlia purple in there. Yes, I think that's better. All right, so let me, black cherry. Parma violet. Lilac. I think I like that better. I want contrast, but not where they don't look good together. All right, so, oh, I have quite a collection of pencils over here. It's gonna take me a while to put everything away. All right, so I am going to start with the lightest color, the lilac, which is PC 956, I think. So that's the lilac. And I'm going to do an all over color with the lilac on the hair. Got my background on there. So I'm gonna have to use the darkest color on that area there. Cover that up a bit. Actually gonna take a piece of paper and just use it as a blotter so I don't get my hand on the areas that we've colored. Oh, that was fun. My tip came out. A lot of it, actually. All right, so let's try it again. Another issue with Prismacolors, they do tend to break very easily. And if you are lucky enough to have one that has broken inside in multiple places, it is going to be almost impossible to sharpen that pencil. I'm having a little bit of a trouble with that right now. All right, I'm starting to get a point. Okay. All right. Oh, nope. I think I have another lilac somewhere, so if this one doesn't work, I can grab a new one. I like to try to use them up as much as possible. I don't want to waste any pencil that I have. Oh, that is really terrible. All right, I'm going to see if I can find my other one. Oh. Okay, here we go. Oops, sorry. Hopefully that will not, this one will not break. I'm gonna go up a little bit since we are doing the whole head of hair now. I'm just going to turn the book because I want to color with the grain of the hair or the way the hair is flowing. I don't know if grain of the hair is the correct term, but I don't want to color horizontally if the hair is flowing vertically or vice versa. Helps during blending as well if you try to color it all one way. So this is just my second color along on my channel. So if you would like to see a particular page in a book done, I would love to see your suggestions. I can't promise that I have the book or haven't done the page already, but if I do and I haven't, I will definitely consider that page for a color along. This is a lot of hair on this page. I've colored a lot and I only have one half done. Okay, so on the bottom I'm just gonna go horizontally just so I don't keep running off the paper. Okay. Now here we go with the other side. Yeah, so I'd love to see your suggestions for color alongs. I would love to do more in this book. I would love to do a Kirby Roseanne's color along, but I think it would be a very long color along in multiple parts, which is fine, but I don't know if it's better to do shorter ones. Again, I would love to know in the comments. Okay, again, I'm just gonna go a little bit along the edge so I don't keep running off the page like I just did there. Again, I'm gonna do just a little bit on the edge here so I don't run off the page. Okay, base layer down. So now I am going to use my darkest color, which is the black grape. Just going to give this a little bit of a sharpen. And I'm going to color on the tops of strands and on the bottoms of strands. So we work up to this lighter area of shine. And I do each one kind of separately. It takes a while, but I think the results are really worth it. So I'm doing the bottom and the top of each section of hair that Hannah drew in with the black grape. This one here, I'm going to continue the black grape in the center there so it covers that area where I got some of my gelato on there earlier. Okay, I need my paper back. Getting little marks on my face. Okay. This is a very tedious process, but it will be very rewarding once the hair is all blended. And totally colored. keep getting my hands on my colored areas, which I don't want. The paper keeps shifting. All right. This is definitely the most tedious part of this page. But her hair is most of the page, so it really is important. Okay, now the other side. Some of these I can actually color them in chunks, which is good, rather than each single strand alone. Now you might want to add multiple areas of dark in some of these strands that are extra long. I'm actually going to go back and do that once I've finished with this. Just getting the dark in. I'm gonna go back and add some more to to those extra long strands that would have multiple areas of shine in them. Okay. So like this one. Okay. That one. All right. Now I'm going to take my Permaviolet and color right above or below where I just colored my dark color, blending that in. So you want to go about halfway down from where you put the darker color, which for me was black grape. If you use the same color, then black grape. If not, then it would be another color. And then you're going to create that, just by doing this, you're going to create that shine section in the hair. So here's that shine section here. There are lots of different ways to do this. This is just how I do it. You may color hair differently, and that is perfectly fine. There's no right or wrong way. I always say, you do you. Okay. Oop, and add it in the top here. You may be thinking this looks really awful, and it does, but wait till it's blended. Sometimes it's delayed gratification with coloring, and you're not going to see the results until you blend. Okay, so now it's time to blend. So just going to blend from the top and from the bottom, because I don't want to lose those light areas. And I also don't want it to look too solid. You know, it's hair and you want it to look like hair. So you want it to have a little bit of a strandy look. And we're gonna add more of that strandy look once all the blending is done. On the inside, I'm just gonna go down the page and blend so I can get in to the center as best as possible. So I'm just gonna blend that out up and down. Okay. I'm gonna turn my book. Again, I find this to be a very tedious process as well, but I think once it's finished, that down. So those kind of jiggle and make a lot of noise. Okay. It just looks so much better when it's all blended out. Had to sharpen. Some of these smaller strands, I'm actually coloring them separately. If you do hair differently, I'd love to see how you do yours. Always looking to learn new techniques. And new ideas. I was thinking of doing this in black and the background lighter, like a gray or even a blue to look like dusk. But I don't know, I thought it would be harder with the area of the hair being so large that it would just become too black and I wouldn't be able to have the color variation and gradation that I was looking for. So that's why I decided on purple. But I think this hair would look absolutely gorgeous black. All right, I'm getting ready to be done with this. All right, we're getting close. Halfway there. At least the main coloring anyway. And main blending. Got a little more work to do. And I wonder if this would have been a good page to try the Gamsol on to blend. But I didn't want to do that on camera in case something went wrong, so. Okay. Half done. Now the other half. Page is taking longer than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be a very simple, easy page. My last color, my first color along in my last one, took about 3 hours and 15 minutes. And we're getting up there, 2.5 hours. So I really wanted to make this one shorter. I think it will be shorter by a little bit, but not as much as I originally thought it would be. It always takes me longer than I think to color pages. How about you? I'd love to hear in the comments how fast you churn out pages. It depends for me. I would say normally anywhere from 3 to 5 hours for one page, but a lot of times I don't just color one page. I am in this book, however, I'm going front to back, at least right now anyway. And I feel like they're taking about 3 to 4 hours a page. Again, I'm just going along the edges to just blend those so I don't keep running off the page. As you can see, my blender is much shorter than it was when I started. I have a bunch though. I always keep blender pencils on hand. I always have them. I buy ahead of time. Anytime I'm somewhere where I might see blender pencils, I'll grab a few. Or if I'm placing an Amazon order, I'll put some or a pack in my cart. And then I always have them at the ready. I think I'm going to use an extender pencil. It's getting quite uncomfortable to hold at that low. So if you've never seen these are pencil extenders. So you just put the short pencil in, and it makes it long again, so you can color normally. You can buy these on Amazon or wherever. I got mine on Amazon in a pack of, I think 10, either 8 or 10, I can't remember exactly. And I'm so glad I bought them. They are really a lifesaver. Okay. So there we have our almost finished page. So excited. So I am going to take my lilac again and, oh, not my broken one, and just go over these areas of lightness. Just to make sure they're filled in nice and smooth. Okay, I'm just gonna come back and just make sure everything is blended the way I want it to be. Okay. I really like how the hair has turned out. So now, let's see, I'm going to do her eyebrows. I'm using the Parma Violet and the lilac, broken lilac. For the eyebrows. I'm gonna use a blue, I grabbed any blue to add the little blue area on these little crystals that I left white. So now I'm going to take my clear gel pen. So this is clear with a glitter, and I'm going to add it to the moon. Give him a little glittery goodness. And I'm going to add it to my little clear crystals. Now I am actually going to take my white gel pen, and go over the black lines of the crystal, or the parts that I made crystal, so the black lines are no longer showing. I just felt like the black lines kind of perpetuate that it's not clear. So all right, I'm going to let that dry. Now around her eyes, I'm going to do a little bit of eyeshadow. So I'm going to add some Parma Violet. I'm going to do it a little bit darker where her lid is, and then I'm going to come up a little higher, just very lightly. And then same thing on the bottom. Darker there, and then just light up on top. And same on the bottom. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the lilac in there to make it look a little more dramatic. So now I'm going to use a gray for shadows. So I am going to use 70% warm gray. I just like the look of this. So you just want to use a really light hand. If you are going to choose a lighter gray, then you won't have to worry about you know, being too dark. Oh, I just see some unblended areas, so I'm just doing those real quick. Okay. So you just want to be careful not to be too heavy-handed. You don't want them to look like these dark lines. So I'm going to start on the wings. So I'm just going to add some gray. On the right-hand side. And then a little bit underneath. And this is filling in areas of the background where I didn't get right up close to the bat wing, which is fine. And it should be subtle. It should not be right in your face. Now, I'm not an artist. I don't know the ins and outs of lighting. I just do what I think looks good and where I feel like putting shadows. I don't think it's always right. I think if an artist were to look at it, they would tell me I probably put the shadows in the wrong place, but for me, it works. And now I'm just going to go in the rest of it and just add shadows around to make things look like they are 3D, like they are popping off the page. It's barely perceptible, but I think overall it gives a nice effect. So now when I'm doing around the hair, I'm really making sure I'm using a light touch. And now I'm doing under her chin. And down the side of her neck just a little bit. And I'm just going to blend that out. You don't want it to look like she has a gray strip on her on her face or on her neck. And most of the time you don't really even need to be exact. You can sort of just wing it. So now I'm going to do some shadows in her hair. The sections of her hair are different and flow differently. And you see how the difference is between this side that has shadows on it, the hair, and this side that doesn't. It just adds that little bit of pop, of something, of je ne sais pas. Just a little bit. It's not strong, it's not overt, it's just very subtle and just adds a little bit of something. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit along her neck, along the earring. I really like doing this because you start to see things pop and look more real, and it's, to me, it's really fun. I really like that. So now I'm going to do a little bit near the crystal parts. So I'm just going to do this again, super light. Just barely touching the paper. I'm just going to add back in a little bit more blue on these. So my blue came off. Okay. Now, let's see, I want to make sure I have all the shadows where I want them. For me, it really is just feel. It's just putting the shadows where you think they might be. So now I'm going to put some shadows around the chain links. Again, I'm going super, super light and really thin. And you don't even have to be exact. And see, notice how it makes the chains just pop. Just that little bit. You could use black for your shadows. I rarely do, because if by chance I add too much, if you put black on, it's really hard to get it off. It's hard to change that. It's pretty much on there once you use black. There's nothing you can do, or at least not too much. Oh, yeah, that got a little too dark for me. Okay. All right. Okay, I think I have everything. So now I just want to add some stars to the background. So I'm just going to add random dots for stars. And if you find that one looks kind of weird or doesn't look flat, you can always use a little bit of purple or black and pencil and just fade that out and round back up your dot. The gelatos makes a really nice surface to add stars to. And then I'm going to make just a few a little bit bigger, like little twinkle stars. And if you want to add more stars, you can. I like mine a little sparse. So there we are. We are done with the page. I hope you enjoyed coloring it. I hope you enjoy how it turned out. I know I really like mine. It has that dark but beautiful feeling that I was going for. So if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe so you will get updates and know when I post new videos. There's another color along probably coming within the next week or so. So really appreciate if you would do that. And thank you so much for participating, and take care and have a great day. Happy Halloween.